is one of our teaching assistants, and Amanda from Place to talk about how we use our teaching assistants effectively at DPS. You probably notice I'm Scottish, so we tend to speak quite quickly, so if I do, let me know, then I'll try to do this. This is just a little bit of background about our school. 1,090 students from 50 nationalities, non-selective school from FS through to post-16. We follow the British curriculum. At the moment, our current rating from the SIP is good, and as we move, well, hopefully, we try to move to outstanding. Writing and English has been one of our key focuses, and I'm sure lots of you are probably the same. We have had a major change in our curriculum this year. We have taken out English as its own subject, and we've put it in with what we call WOW, which is our own topic-based curriculum. Quite a big change for us. The reason for this was to make the topic more, make English more meaningful for a real audience and a real purpose. We sort of felt that some of them things the children were writing for, particularly non-fiction, didn't have a real audience or purpose, whereas while with WOW we're hoping that we will have that and we'll see some real learning going on. As we're nearly, the first time we presented this was earlier on in the year, but now we're almost at the end. We are having some really good results coming back from this, from the children's attainment and progress, and their opinions, and also the parent and staff opinions as well. So we're so far really pleased with how well it's going. We also, so this is our aim, part of our WOW. So how English looks now, we have writing, spoken language and reading that are integrated into WOW sessions. We have also 2 times 1 hour guided reading sessions, and phonics and spelling that's daily at Key Stage 1. We also have the 6 C's. These are a curriculum we're actually used throughout all of the curriculum areas to hopefully develop these skills in our children. Sorry, I should have actually mentioned that we're also following the new national curriculum, the UK national curriculum as well. So we took some of the ideas from the creative curriculum and also the new objectives from the UK national curriculum, and that is the objectives that we're following throughout our topic. Sorry. Yeah. So if, for example, our recent topic that we did in year 4 was called Secrets of the Sand. So what we did was, for our writing, we had non-fiction writing, so we looked at Adam Batuta, we did a biography of him. We emailed a letter to the Falcon Hospital in Abu Dhabi to arrange a visit. When we went on the visit, we came back, we wrote a recount about that trip. We had a fiction book that was called The Mysterious Traveller. It was also set in this area, and we did some fiction and story writing based on that. So hopefully again, as I said, going back to audience and purpose for the writing, and also bringing in reading and spoken language as well. We debate, we've had whether we should have development in the theatre or not, again, spoken listening skills, formulating an argument. For our science, we looked at whether what materials would be good to build a tent in the desert, how we make it structurally sound, and then at the end of it we wrote a report on our findings. So just try to integrate as much as possible and give a new purpose for our writing and our English. So, how do we use our teaching assistants to support us? We're very lucky with teaching assistants in our school from AFS up to year 6, so all the way through our school, and thank goodness, because we literally couldn't do it without them. Doing an amazing job at supporting us, supporting the children. I just took some photos of our teaching assistants working with the children, and I'll just give you some examples of the kind of things they do. So we have them working with groups and individuals, all ability levels. We have them encouraging the sharing of ideas, mind mapping, like things like up-leveling their writing, editing, improving it. They might be modelling the writing style that's being taught. They might be orally rehearsing with the children what they're going to say, and then before they come to write it. They might be working and doing drama and role play sessions with groups. They might target a specific area for development with a group or individual. So for example, if we want to look at up levelling, there might be openers or conjunctions or adjectives that we could use to raise the level of our writing, and we use our teaching assistants to do all that with us. We have targets for our children, so it might be a specific focus on punctuation or whatever that child needs to do. Again, we might be looking for that. Obviously, we're also really good at spotting children who are struggling or who need challenged and feeding back to us as well, working with that child on the spot as well. We have the 2 1-hour reading sessions, and we have our teaching assistants timetable for that as well. So we might have them studying books or extracts with the children, help them become familiar with different types of text. Looking for ambitious vocabulary within the books that they're reading. Really crucial for us, and if you're in a school, we are fortunate, but if you are in a school with a lot of EAN children, we use our teaching assistants and ourselves a lot to model grammatically correct speech for the children before they write it. Because we find that if you can't say it, you can't write it. So we're expecting them to write at a level when their speech is not showing that level sometimes. So again, our teaching assistants really valuable for that. And again, debate, forming arguments, any sort of emphasis on spoken language is really, really important for us, and they're great at supporting us with that. We also have our phonics groups, so we set for phonics in the lower school. We use our teaching assistants to help us with that, to work with individuals, to work with groups, to push the higher ability, to give them more challenging things to do. I actually put this up since last time because we were asked before about this, and it was about, do we always use our teaching assistants with the less able? And the answer is no. This is actually for the maths, this example thing. It's just what we try and do is we try to involve this year more than ever our teaching assistants in the planning process. So we start the topic when it begins, we'll all sit down and say, okay, our topics, seekers to the stand. What ideas do we have? And then map that all together as a year 14 or whatever year group team. Then we'll split that up into tasks. Okay, I'm taking up plans this week, so I'll take up this plan. Then I will put on it, or whoever will put on it, what we would like the teaching assistant to do, and then that's given out in advance. So the teaching assistant comes to that lesson and they know what they'll be doing, who they'll be working with, and if they've had to prepare any resources for it, then they will have that knowledge in advance. So we find that rather than you just come on the day and say, what am I doing, if you're a bit more prepared, then you can get a lot more out for the children and each other. So that's just that. And this has helped me because now I see where they worked before and where I worked before, because I think your natural instinct is to sometimes always help the less able. And this has stopped me doing this because now I can see, well, actually, they had the teacher yesterday, they had the teaching assistant, today they'll have to be independent, so I'll have to differentiate the task so that they can complete it independently rather than relying on adult help. So that's been one benefit that I've used personally from that. Marking's another area we've done quite a lot of work on this year. Yes, our deputies worked with teaching assistants and quite a lot of training on marking and feedback. So now, if our teaching assistants work with the group, this is actually one of my more students. Using a talk for writing and innovation as a talk for writing, and this has been redrafted with our teaching assistant and him working one-to-one to obviously improve his writing. So that's quite new for us as well, trying to get marking in, and then obviously feeding back to you if you really struggle with this, or you can do some more practice on this or whatever it is. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I'll hand over to Marina now, she can give you a little bit more information.
Hi, my name is Marina, and I work in the Barbadger School as a teaching assistant, helping the teacher. Really, my main duties and my main role is to support teachers and to support children as well. I work in year 2, which is 6-7-year-old children between 3 different classes helping the teachers. As you can see, my duties work with a small group of children directed by the teacher. You saw the planning, we have the planning in front of us, We know what class, for example, for math I'm working with, what group I'm working with, the same as the guided reading and everything. I know what exactly group I'm working with and what I need to do and how do I need to help the children. Work one-to-one with the individuals, the same. If the children are struggling with something and they need a little extra support, again, I will take a child, for example, in the morning when we have a little bit time, 10 minutes time during the registration. I'll take a child and we'll read one-to-one and she will read to me. I will ask her 2 questions just to help, again, to improve the child, to help with whatever reading or not understanding their book, again, to help and support the child. Follow the curriculum and work towards the same target. Again, the same as Sharon already said, we'll help the children to be sure that they try to encourage them to get, if something is not helping them, if they are struggling and they can see that their friends can do, again, help them, encourage them, and work one-to-one, maybe use simple language for them to understand what they have to do. Feedback to the teacher is really, really important. Again, because the teacher wants to know their class, how they do, but maybe there's a group what I work, she will come and see what I'm doing as well. But actually how they progress during this lesson and how they do it, I will then go back to the teacher and explain, like, this child particularly found this activity a little bit hard, and maybe we need to take a little bit slower and help him, or another child really done really well. Maybe we can push a little bit and try to make it slightly harder, then the child will make, I would say, more progress and get forward as well. And it's very, very important for us as well to be involved in planning. As Sharon already showed you that it's not like we are coming in the class with the big guys who don't know what we're doing. We know every week we sit together with the teachers and plan together the whole lesson, and she explained to us as well, or the teaching assistant explained what we have to do, which group we have to support. And again, we always use the lower ability children. Where I will be working with maybe a stronger group and help them to progress as well. For next time, low ability group who needs extra support, but not always. Again, right now, yes, I am working with the low ability group, but we do have TAs who work with the stronger groups as well. Use different learning activities and games which encourage children to participate and develop in their learning. One of my kids' favorite game during phonics is bingo game. But again, we do different, again, depends on the ability of the children, do different games with them. Encourage to attend professional development in phonics. Because I'm new in school, and that's my first year as a teaching assistant, I actually wasn't very sure about the phonics, how to start, where to start, and I did attend a course in Quest, not only about the phonics, I actually still study together with Quest, what Amanda then will tell later, and to even for my own development, just to help the children to go through all their learning.
So, good afternoon, is it morning still? Good morning everybody. I work for a company called West Primary Services, and we're working very closely at the moment with Dubai British School to help them to move forward and to use their teaching assistants more effectively in order to improve learning within their school. Here in Dubai, many teaching assistants in schools actually come into school with very little and sometimes no experience working in a school at all. There aren't many jobs here where ladies can work part-time or fit around their families. So many of the ladies who work in schools find themselves in that position because it suits their life at this time. Because of that, sometimes teaching assistants aren't used in the most effective way. What should your TA be doing? And if you've been listening to Sharon and to Marina, you will hopefully start to understand that there was no mention at all of any of these things. Okay, but when I go around schools, I see a lot of this from teaching assistants. Ladies cleaning, ladies washing up, cutting, sticking, but actually nowhere near the children. But the idea of teaching assistants is to support children's learning. And if they're not working with children, how can they be supporting children's learning? So, the job of a teaching assistant is much, much more than washing up paint pots, okay? Putting up displays, or standing next to the photocopier. There's a lot of that. You're smiling. I can see you smiling. There's a lot of teaching assistants spend a lot of time by the photocopy or the laminator. DBS is different, and there are many schools in Dubai that are different as well, but they understand if they want children's learning to improve, and if they want that move up to outstanding, they have to make sure their TAs understand their role fully. And that means we have to give teaching assistants some knowledge and some skills. We can't expect them just to find their way or know what to do. Okay? If we do this properly, then that means they're going to help the participation of pupils. Having an extra adult in your classroom is a real luxury. So we should be using them properly, yeah? Because not all teachers have teaching assistants, and I bet the ones that haven't wish they had. If we use teaching assistants properly, we'll enable the pupils to become more independent. And I know that almost sounds a little bit like that doesn't make sense, because the teaching assistants are working alongside the children, but the teaching assistant is not there to pick up the rubbish at snack time or to clean the tables. The children can do that, but the teaching assistant is there to support them and to lead them. Okay? And ultimately, that is going to help to raise the standards of learning for pupils. If that's going to work properly, the teaching assistant and the teacher, as Sharon and Marina have said, you've got to work closely together. Teaching assistants need to be prepared. They have to have the opportunity to understand the planning and what it is that they are doing. Many activities that teaching assistants take part in have a learning objective. But do you ever tell your teaching assistant what that learning objective is? Because if you don't, how do you know they're supporting in the correct way? Do you tell your teaching assistants what the focus language is for the lesson? If it's mathematics, the language might be really important. Are you wanting the children to understand bigger than, smaller than? Because if you do, the teaching assistant should be using that language all the time when they're working with the children. Have you explained to your teaching assistant what is expected of the activity? Do you want the activity completed? Or do you only want them to do the first step? You have to talk to your teaching assistant to explain. And also, if your TA hasn't got experience of some of the things that we do in school, have you supported or helped the teaching assistant to understand how you teach fractions now? Because fractions and a lot of mathematics is not taught in the same way as when I went to school. But if you haven't explained that to your teaching assistant, they might be saying, oh no, you don't do it like this. And they might be using their own methods. The other thing is, I don't know if this is the case at DBS, but a lot of teaching assistants spend a lot of time on the art table, doing art and craft activities. Sometimes there are things being used, techniques being used, that teaching assistants may never have experienced before. Marbling inks. Do they know how to make Play-Doh? That sort of thing. They're going to need some help and some support.
I think I've mentioned this last week as well, and sometimes it's actually the other way round, because I am not the most artistic. Luckily, my TA is amazing, so if I involve her in the plan, and then quite often she will say, we can do this technique, and she will show me and the class then how we do that. So I think if you have more collaboration, then you can get the best out of all of you, because I know, we're saying they don't have a lot of children might not have worked in a school. I've worked with some amazing TAs who have other skills in physics, or they've come from their home country, who've worked in that different fields from me. So I think
accountancy, brilliant with numbers, that sort of
you get more out of them that way as well. You can play your strengths and theirs, and I think that's a real advantage as well.
Yeah. But if you don't talk to each other, then you don't know what skills your teaching assistant has from their life skills. So, you need to make sure that those professional relationships are valued, and that means you have to find time to sit down and communicate. And that's really hard, because in school you're so busy, and we know that you're so busy, but there's always time to snatch 5 minutes at the start of the day or the end of the day to talk about how the day's gone, how did the children get on, who needs a little bit more work in different areas. The other thing is having respect for each other. Just because your teaching assistant may not have a formal qualification, as Sharon said, they might be highly qualified in another area. So we should show respect for our TAs, and I'm sad to say in some schools, teaching assistants are not shown the respect that they deserve. Like I've already said, without them, some of us will be quite lost. But the other thing is, we are role models to the children in our classes. And if we don't show respect to our teaching assistants, the children won't either. So it's really important that you're working in partnership together. Have faith in their abilities. Let them have a go. I've also seen teachers who won't let their teaching assistants see the children. And I think that is such a shame, when clearly these ladies are in a school because they want to work with children. They're not there because they want to wash paper pots. So let them be with the children. And that's really important. I think anybody who works in a school is supposed to feel the day. So, where do we come in? Quest Primary Year Services, we are a large company now, that's been going for 7 years. Not always as Quest, formerly as Early Years Education Services, with a very small primary side. But we're now working with so many primary schools that we've actually got 2 sides to our company now. And I manage a team of 5 ladies, and we all go in and out of primary schools. Some of you I recognise, I've worked with you already, it's lovely to see familiar faces. But we're really passionate about educating teaching assistants because we know how valuable they can be. We've worked with DBS for 6 years now, in and out, training various cohorts of teaching assistants as people have moved on. I've seen lots of faces go through that school. But it's really important to us that we promote high quality learning experiences. And we don't just work in Dubai now, we're working in other Emirates as well. Spent quite a lot of time in Abu Dhabi as well. We're all primary specialists, but the big thing is we're all practitioners. We've all worked for over 20 years in schools, so we know what schools are like. We've all worked in schools here in Dubai, so we know how the system works here, and that matters, I think, when you're training with schools here. We do various different things, which I'm going to explain, and Marina's going to talk a little bit about as well. We do short courses, just 2 hours. We run conferences. We've actually got, I don't know whether any of you have heard, but there's a primary conference that we're running on Saturday at Knowledge Village. A whole day where you can choose different workshops to go to, and the workshops are an hour and a half, and they're only 100 dirhams. You get a certificate of attendance. We've got international speakers coming out from the UK. We're speaking. I know Marina's going to be there. Sharon's going to be there apparently as well, which is great. But you can get 3 really good sessions for 250 dirhams. So for a day of professional development, that's a pretty good thing to sign up to, I think. Good value. But what we really want to do is to help teaching assistants develop knowledge and understanding what they should be doing. So you might be sitting there thinking, why should I bother training teaching assistants at all? At the moment, my understanding is that teaching assistants in Dubai do not need a relevant qualification. But we are working hard to change that rule, because we believe that anybody who works with children should have a relevant qualification. You might have a degree in economics, but that doesn't mean you're going to be fantastic working with children and have those knowledge and skills. And ultimately, if teaching assistants are trained, it's going to build their self-esteem, they're going to feel more confident in what they're doing in the classroom, and that's going to lead to a better environment in your setting, in your school. It means they're going to be able to manage children's behaviour in the class, and that's going to take a lot of pressure off you as teachers. And it's going to ultimately lead to a better outcome for your school. So this is what we do. Although we do short courses, we also offer internationally recognised qualifications by CASH and City and Guilds. Okay? And we offer those for teaching assistants, and now we also offer those for teachers. We offer a range of short courses and workshops, and we also are now partnered with Edgehill University in the UK, delivering a programme specifically about mathematics, so that teaching assistants can go and support mathematics in schools. But I'm just going to hand over to Marina, because Marina is actually completing, or about to complete, nearly finished, hooray, after a year, her level 3, 2 level 3 qualifications she's running together. And I'd really like it if you heard from her how it's changed the way that she works with the children now.
Just a little bit. When I came here to Dubai, I had no qualification. I didn't know how to work with the children, but I loved working with the children. As I worked in the library before, and then I thought, I want to change something. I would actually, instead of sitting behind the desk, I actually want to help them. And I did a little bit of supply teaching assistant. When I walk in the class first time, there is all children sitting and teacher teaching the lesson and everything. I actually seriously, I sat at the class with the big, huge eyes, and some of the stuff I couldn't understand. Math. I'm originally from Russia, and the way they taught us there, completely different what they were doing there. Their math language is completely different. The same as reading
phonics I was explaining as well. It was completely like mind-blowing. And I just sat there with the big eyes and I didn't even know how to help the children. And I thought, okay, I can glue the paper and stick it in the book, but actually help, it's not coming from me really. And when I found out from another teaching assistant that did this course, I thought, I need it, I really need it. And I started in September. It did help me a lot. I mean, even this, as someone was saying, behavior problem. I now know how to approach to the child, how to speak to the child if something happened, what I need to do. I know now development of the child, what again we've been taught in West, because I can't look at the child the same way. If somebody is struggling, what kind of, why he's got a problem. You know probably what children with ADD, ADHD, how to approach this child, how to speak to that child, how can I help this child or with the behavior, how he can concentrate, all this stuff. And now I'm just about to finish this course, and as I said before, it helped me a lot with a lot of things, and I know how to support my child.
So they're year-long courses, and it means attending classes alongside your full-time role, homework tasks, but I've seen Marina's confidence grow over the last 12 months, just being in school. And what she's actually not explained is that she's actually done an additional qualification, so she's done 2 qualifications at the same time. The second one will allow her now to cover classes when the teacher is not there. Now I know that some schools already use their teaching assistants to cover classes when the teacher is not there. However, you have to really think, if that person has no training, no background, why are we allowing them to step in and lead classes when teachers aren't there? Marina now, through her own decisions and through her own funding, is now qualified to do that and has the confidence to be able to step up if it's needed if the teacher isn't there. Okay, now lost. I think it's not working. There we go. So, one thing that you really have to think about, and that we've been asked to come and talk to you about again, is if you want an outstanding school, every member of staff needs to be outstanding. It's not just the teachers. So do you provide professional development for all your staff? Any questions?
Yeah, this particular course, does it have accreditation?
It is recognised by the KHDA, yes. We have recognition now as a company from both MOSA and the KHDA. Many schools, it's interesting, have actually approached us since they've had their inspections this year and told us that the KHDA inspectors have recommended that they come and work with us now. And we're very happy to go into schools to work with whatever schools need. This lovely gentleman, we've worked with his school on a particular area. So we go into schools, we have a look around, we see what's needed, and then we work out an individual programme for the school based on what that particular school is needing at that time. We've worked with some schools for a long time, 6 years, 2 to 3 years, and we are starting to see changes in the KHDA inspections now and their ratings, which is really, really good news.
And we first met, actually, I know this with our teaching assistants, but we actually first met with I asked Amanda to come and train all our teachers for phonics, because phonics teaching has changed from a lot of some of our teachers, and especially if you're moving within year groups in our school, we felt it was important to train all our teachers. We all have the same expectation, we all have the same approach, and that was how we actually met in the first place. So it's not just for teaching assistants, it's for teachers as well.
We help teachers, we help teaching assistants, we'll help senior leaders if that's needed as well. The main thing is that what we really, really want for schools is for everybody to be hearing sort of the same information. And when we go into schools, we do short sessions, we go in for in-service training at the beginning of the academic year, and we might do a whole day with the school. We tailor it to whatever the school needs.
Well, my school is we are at the initial stages of developing an SEN department.
Okay.
So are you also dealing with SEN as well?
Yes, we can do. We've actually got a specialist in the early years department, although she's primary trained, and she's our sort of special educational needs specialist. A lot of the staff that we have now, the consultants that we have, we've all got sort of specialisms. So I've got a lady who deals really strongly now with literacy, guided reading, phonics. I've got a lady who's really, really strong at the early years, a lady who's really strong in special educational needs. So we've got various specialisms, although we've all practiced in primary school overall subject areas.
Can you share your business card with us so that we can get that?
Absolutely. If you want to come and see me at the end, I shall give you a business card. Any other questions? Any questions for Maria or Sharon about what they're doing in the schools? Okay, thank you so much for your all for listening to us today.